In a previous video, we've used this getZone method, which we haven't got yet inside of the shipping class. So let's now create it. If we copy the name of the method and scroll down. So if we now start with the public function getZone, we pass in a post code as the first parameter, then string length, which will be 4 to start with. Now I'm going to explain you what string length means in just a second. Let's just check first if is an empty post code. Then we're going to proceed and string length. Well, let's keep it as it is at the moment. Okay, string length, what it's going to be. Let's have a look at the example of a postcode. For instance, in the UK, we may have something like this, PO21, let's say 1TP. This is one of the postcodes. Now, obviously, before we are passing the postcode to this method, we're using this string to upper. So if it was like something like PO, lowercase PO21, that would convert all this obviously to capital letters, as I said earlier. Now, next method which we've used on this postcode was called alphanumerical only, which is a method inside of the helper class. So that means that obviously this space would be removed. So this is our postcode now, which we're passing through the as a parameter to this getZone method. What happens now? String length, depending on how precise you want to be with the postcode, sometimes, depending obviously on what sort of courier company you're going to be using, some of them, they only use the first 3 letters. So let's say 3 letters, and that's all we're interested in. If it's PO2, the cost is that much for this weight. Some of them, they may use full postcodes, but obviously full postcodes, obviously, if you've got very similar postcode, the chances are that the distance between one and the other is very similar. That's why they tend to basically take part of the postcode when you are getting, obviously, the cost for the shipping. And this is where we actually have this string length here in place. I've set it up to 4. So all we're going to be looking at here is this first 4 numbers. If you want to be more precise, you can increase it. But if that's enough, then obviously basically what you should set here by default is how basically precise you want your search to be. In our case, for the UK, first 4 characters is sufficient. So we're going to be working on this string length. Now what we're going to check is if, sorry, we've got if already. Now we're going to create the PC for the postcode substring. And we're going for the post code. We start with 0, which is basically from the beginning of the string, and then how long we want the string to be, string length. Obviously, to start with, we've got 4, so whatever postcode you're gonna pass through, from the first character, 4 characters altogether. And now we go for the SQL statement, which will simply say select all from, and we go for this table 4, where post code equals, and now we're going to concatenate this with this db escape, our post code passed as parameter, and again concatenating this double and single quote. Then we go for limit 0 1, we want just 1 item. And then we go for the result, sorry, variable result equals this db fetch 1, and we pass our SQL. And now what we check is if empty result, meaning obviously we haven't found anything, and string length is smaller than 1, so basically there's at least 1 character, else we simply return result, which is going to be null. We go for string length. First of all, we are deducting 1 character, so if it was 4, it's going to be 3, and then return, and the same method. So get zone, we pass in the post code that we've got and the new string length. So basically it's going to loop as long as it's going to find obviously the result. If we get to the string length 0, obviously, and no result has been found, it's going to return result, which in this case obviously will be 0.